Leroy Jenkins! So I'm gonna get my squeeze, hold, and I'm gonna come to the ice. Alright? So I'm just gonna sit here for a second. You wanna stab these in as you try to work your way out. Name's Joshua Chambers. I'm from North Charleston, South Carolina. May I get out of the water?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so I'm gonna be stabbing. Good. Go. My name is Daniel. My hometown, Boston, New York. Can I please get out? Yeah, get out. You ready? Ice breaking, you're going under! Turn around, turn around. There we go, there we go. Yep. Good. Roll, roll. Nice. Good job. Yeah! Yeah! I need some Orlando sauce from Florida. Can I get out? Come on. Yep. Roll, roll. Yeah. Nice, get up.
You guys boil water over fire on? No, heat up boat.
And then you have it, just don't, because it might get caught and tossed off, and if someone go looking for you, they're going to find where it's got tossed up and not you. So, so it's what we call it.
You like the stack. Focus.
Okay,
afternoon. My name is Second Lieutenant Ordonez. I'm with 2nd Combat Engineer Battalion, currently attached to Victor 36. I'm the platoon commander for Bravo Company, 3rd Platoon, and I currently am a 1302 battalion engineer. Specifically, the training we participated in was the cold weather training package held here in Norway, Norway. The training consisted of basic cold weather survival skills, as well as land navigation, an icebreak drill, and then a survival night where Marines stayed out in the field and survived for one night with an improvised bivouac. The training is important because doing and conducting operations out here in this type of environment, as you can see, it's extremely cold, and nature, for the most part, is one of your biggest enemies. So we have to reinforce those small unit leadership skills, such as wearing the proper type of gear and bringing the proper type of equipment in order to make sure that our Marines can move, fight, and maintain combat readiness at all time, especially in these sub-zero temperatures. Cold weather training specifically makes the unit more lethal, in part due to the fact that if Marines can survive out here in this type of hostile environment, then they can gain an edge over any enemy or adversary that they're facing. Marines also need to understand where they're fighting and what proper equipment to bring out to the fight to maintain combat readiness at all time. Specifically, they also need to know how to take care of their bodies and take care of their Marines. And when you combine all that, you get one lethal package that can survive, that can move, and that can fight out here, even in these harsh climates and this mountainous terrain. So specifically out here, training with the Norwegians helps joint forces come together and coalesce into one lethal fighting force. Specifically, myself in part, getting with the Norwegian engineers helps me understand their capabilities and their limitations, as well as how to conduct joint operations. I came out here with a combat engineer platoon, which is not used to this mountainous environment, so understanding how the Norwegians fight and how they use their heavy engineering assets gives me an advantage in the planning process, specifically when we conduct joint operations, and being able to utilize them to the fullest so we can also maximize our combat engineering strength. Specifically, my biggest takeaway from the training is how important the small unit leader role is, that NCO, that junior corporal, that junior sergeant, how important they are to the success, because young Marines will come out here not knowing exactly how to survive or what to do, and you need those experienced leaders at the small unit level that are with them day in and day out to reinforce the little things, such as wearing the proper gloves, wearing the proper face gear, wearing the proper warming layers, because out here your body reacts differently to the cold, it reacts differently to stress, and it greatly increases the amount of discipline that you need to conduct your daily tasks. So we need those small leaders to hold Marines accountable, not just for the mission, but for their safety as well, and to maintain that lethal force and readiness. So specifically for the polar plunge, I had a very unique experience. I jumped into the water and immediately started kicking up because I thought I was going to drown. It was a great experience. My body came out of the water, and for about 10 to 15 seconds, I was confused and I just wanted to get out. Your body kind of goes into that fight or flight mode and immediately wants to get into a position of safety, which would be out of the water on top of the ice. But the biggest takeaway that I got from that was maintaining a calm mindset. Once I was able to calm down, once I was able to breathe, catch my breath, and understand what I was in and what I had to do, it greatly improved my chances of surviving if that was an actual scenario where I fell through ice. Avalanche training is extremely important because Marines need to understand that the majority of avalanches are actually caused by human error. Fun fact, you have an 80% chance of survival within the first 16 to 18 minutes of an avalanche, and you being trapped under. And then once you get to 20 minutes, you have a 20% chance of survival. So you have a limited amount of time to actually conduct the proper safety procedures to survive an avalanche or to help get your buddy or your unit out of harm's way. So Marines need to understand that so they can implement those safety procedures, but also prevent causing an avalanche in an environment like this. I definitely believe that the Marines enjoyed the polar plunge a lot. You may not believe it, but Marines are actually very good at sucking it up and enjoying terrible situations, and that polar plunge was definitely one of those. But I believe that they learned a lot from it, and it tested them mentally and physically, as well as the survival night, going out one night with a small team and surviving, be it just 24 hours, but actually finding shelter, building shelter, creating a fire and living off the few resources you have really tests your mental wit and fortitude, and I think the Marines learned a lot and enjoyed that. The importance of the tactical vehicle training specifically out here is important because Marines need to know how to operate vehicles that are usually accustomed to a desert and rocky environment to now operate out here in the snow where there's ice, where there's slush, where temperatures are below zero, where fuel consumption is a lot more strenuous on the vehicle, and where Marines really have to plan in advance how to implement their tactical vehicles, especially noting the difficult terrain that's out here and the dangers of just driving in general. So I've greatly enjoyed the training that we've conducted out here. I've been very fortunate to come out here and be with the Marines of Victor 3-6 and learn a lot and learn how to operate in this type of environment. One big takeaway I would say is that as the Marine Corps becomes a lighter, more lethal fighting force, we definitely have to focus on that joint forces and joint coalitions with allied partners because just being out here training with the Norwegians, seeing how they fight, seeing what assets they bring to the fight, greatly increases our chances of mission success, especially with them on our side.